It all started with a message. No number, no ID. Just one sentence glowing on my phone screen at 2:17 a.m. Do you have the courage to visit Deadman's field? I thought it was a joke. But the next morning, I showed it to the group. Lucas laughed. Bea bit the corner of her lip, like she always did when she was nervous. Enrique, as usual, wanted to act brave. Let's go tonight. It's probably just an old field, he said like it was no big deal. The name unsettled me. Deadman's Field. My grandmother used to talk about it when I was a child. She said it was a place where time stopped, where a scarecrow, made of straw and sin, watched the living and took them to the other side when their time came. But those were just stories. Just stories. Still, as the sun began to set, I found myself in the back seat of the car, staring at the road that led us out of town. Asphalt gave way to dirt, then to gravel. Finally, silence. Even our phone signal disappeared. Deadman's Field was more desolate than any of us expected. A dead, dry field covered by a low fog that seemed to swallow everything. In the center stood a solitary figure, the Scarecrow, still, motionless. Its face was covered by an old, crudely stitched cloth. The smile, painted with something that looked like rust, stretched from one side to the other. Its arms spread wide, as if welcoming us, as if waiting. Enrique threw a rock. The thing didn't move, but I swear on everything I have. The cloth over its face rippled, even though there was no wind. It was breathing. Even standing still, it was alive. Bea, curious as always, found a notebook lying near the fence. The cover was black and worn. Inside were scribbles that looked like they were written with shaking hands. Line after line repeated the same phrase. Don't look, don't look, don't look. Night fell fast, too fast. We set up camp just a few meters from the entrance to the field, but I could barely sleep. There was something in the air, a low hum, like the sound of voices whispering too far away to understand, but close enough to unsettle you. I woke up in the middle of the night to a whisper in my ear, cold, deep in my soul. I opened my eyes slowly, afraid to confirm what my heart already knew. The field was empty. The Scarecrow was gone. The shock froze me for a few seconds. I blinked, trying to see more clearly through the tense flap. But the fog outside was thicker now, like the entire field had been swallowed by a white, suffocating curtain. And the Scarecrow gone. I slipped out of the tent quietly, trying not to wake the others. The air was heavy, carrying the scent of damp wood and something metallic, almost like blood. Every step I took on the wet grass seemed too loud. The field was listening. Enrique, I whispered. No response, just the muffled sound of crickets, or what I thought were crickets. Because suddenly, that sound started to shift. It dragged, becoming unnatural. Bea appeared behind me, still half asleep, clutching the notebook she had found earlier. Did it move? It's gone. Her eyes widened. That's impossible. Enrique, he's not in the tent. We began searching. Lucas was still asleep, or pretending. But we didn't have time to argue. Bea and I headed deeper into the field, trying to keep our breathing steady, though everything inside me screamed to run. The fog parted ahead like a curtain, and through it we saw Enrique, standing, motionless, facing the Scarecrow, back on its post, but positioned differently. Its head now hung low, as if it had just finished staring into Enrique's eyes. Enrique, we shouted, running toward him. But as we got closer, we realized he was in some kind of trance. His skin was cold, his lips slightly parted, whispering something we couldn't understand. His face was empty. No fear, no emotion. I grabbed his arm and yanked him back. He stumbled, as if only then snapping out of it. His eyes were bloodshot. He was gasping. What happened? I asked. He didn't answer. He just stared at the Scarecrow. He called me. That sentence made my blood run cold. We half carried him back to the camp. Lucas was already awake, waiting outside. When he saw Enrique's condition, he turned pale. "What the hell is happening to us?" he asked. Bia opened the notebook and showed a new page. She hadn't written anything, but there was something there that hadn't been before. A drawing. The Scarecrow, but different, with something like horns sprouting from its head. And at the base of the post, for hanging figures suspended by ropes. The last one had Enrique written underneath it. Bia dropped the notebook. The night felt darker than before, the silence thicker, the field closer. That's when we heard the laughter. It didn't come from any of us. It wasn't human, and it came from everywhere at once. We didn't sleep, not after that laugh. Not with Enrique trembling, staring blankly at the darkness, whispering that he was still listening. We huddled together in silence, surrounded by that suffocating fog, waiting for morning like it was our last hope. But morning never came. The sun should have risen hours ago, but the sky remained that same dull gray. No birds, no breeze, just the Scarecrow standing where we left it, closer now, much closer. "I swear to God," Lucas said, voice shaking. It moved again. No one argued. We all saw it. The post had splinters at its base, fresh as if something had torn it from the earth and jammed it back down. Then Bia found the final page of the notebook. None of us saw her write it. It was just there. 3 must stay. 1 may leave. 1 offers the blood. 1 bears the face. 1 walks away, but never whole. She read it aloud with a dead tone, and we all went still. It wasn't a riddle. It was a rule, a curse, and we were already part of it. Enrique stood up suddenly. His eyes were different, wide, hollow, like something had taken root inside him. "He wants a harvest," he said. "Who?" I asked, already knowing the answer. "The Scarecrow." We turned toward it, and it was gone. Bia screamed. It stood behind us now, no longer still. Its limbs sagged unnaturally, burlap skin twitching, the stitched mouth beginning to move, forming words we couldn't hear but felt, deep in our bones. Lucas ran. I don't blame him. He didn't get far. The field swallowed him. The grass itself seemed to rise and pull him under. 1 second he was running, the next he was gone. Not a sound, not a struggle, just silence. Enrique stepped forward, as if drawn. "He wants a face," he said again, almost lovingly. I tried to stop him, but Bia held me back. She was crying, shaking her head. "It chose him," she whispered. "He's already marked. Look." I looked. On his neck, under his collar, fresh stitches, blood seeping through like a mouth sewn shut. Enrique knelt before the Scarecrow. Then he smiled. The Scarecrow bent down. Its hands reached out, not to kill, but to take. Enrique's face. I don't remember screaming, but I remember Bia dragging me away as the fog swallowed everything behind us. The air was thick. The field wouldn't let us leave easily. But somehow we made it, just the 2 of us. At the edge of the woods, Bia collapsed, clutching the notebook. The last page had changed. 1 walks away, but never whole. She didn't speak again, not in the days after, not in the months. She stares now, just like Enrique did. And me? Sometimes at night I see them, for figures hanging in the field. One of them has no face, and I hear the Scarecrow laugh, because the harvest never ends.